Good morning. Hi, Annette. You're good. I don't know if I should keep the lights on or turn them down. What do you think? Lights or no lights? Haven't even taken my hair down. Oh, look, you hit the number one. I guess I have the leaderboard again today. A little bit loud. I can hear it from my headphones. Pretty good. I wish there wasn't so much of a delay. You like the lights? Okay. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Can get stop. Here. There's your barrier. Don't go past the keyboard. Thank you. I hope you're good. I had my hair up. I was outside. I don't know what I'm doing today. I haven't decided. Like, I don't have anything. Usually I have stuff saved up, but I haven't been watching anything. And so, you know. I don't even know if it's playing anymore. Yeah, it's still playing. Okay. Yeah, the lights, it's putting like a backlight on me, and I didn't know if that was a good thing or not. I haven't decided. Like, I'm not a lighting expert. I'm not an expert at all. Oh, yeah, I haven't found one here. I haven't really looked, though. It's, it is what it is. I should, to be honest. I should find a good church, but I don't know. People all like, I had some really bad experiences in more in Austin. I had some really bad experiences in Florida. So here's a fun little story, just about church. So I don't know, is that too loud? Hold on. No, you can barely. Oh, it's ending. So basically, when I was in Florida, there was this Assembly of God that everybody went to. Okay, and so it was like the one that my ex had grown up going to for some reason. You're breathing really loud, sir. Anyway, so at some point he decided that, we should go. And of course I'm like, oh yeah, I want to go to church. I've never been to Assembly of God. And if you guys know anything about Assemblies of God, I was in for it. So anyway, we go to the church, and I didn't know that his intention was to like get them to give us things or give us money or whatever. Because mind you, at this time I was working, but he was like spending all the money and he was wasting it, and he was basically high as a kite every time we'd go. So I'm sitting in there and I'm like, okay, this is interesting, and tired, and he basically tells them that I'm worried because of finances and that I need them to pray for me. So they make me go down the main aisle to the front by the pulpit, like, where this big step is. And they're all surrounding me, like touching me. And I'm like freaking out because I don't know if you know me, you know that my personal space is pretty, don't touch me. And like, they're all like praying over me. And like, some of them were like speaking in tongues or just babbling or whatever, and I'm like, what in the actual fuck is going on? And I was freaked out, and I started like half crying. I was like panicking. They thought that I was all in the moment with them, and so they went even worse, and I was like panicking, and it was embarrassing, and I hate it. I hate being put like in the middle, and anyway. So his goal was, he was trying to convince them to give us money because he'd spent all our money on drugs. So we didn't have any. And I, of course, was working. And of course, I was panicking because they were like touching me. Like, don't touch me. What's up, Wicked Mike? Hope you're good. Um, so yeah, it was not a good thing. And then every time we go, he'd try to like wink, wink, like give us money and stuff. And it was very, so I refused to go back. And so he would take the kids. I was like, they can go to Sunday school. That's fine. And like to events. So they'd come pick them up in the van from the church because it was a very poor rural area. And I was like, okay, but I'm not going. Oh, you could. No. I refused. I never stepped foot in that church again. And I was not interested at all. And then I find out later, because they had like tent revivals and stuff that apparently, now this is just my own biased experience, the Assemblies of God are like, have a major, like where they have a huge hierarchy. So they're not like small churches. They have this big hierarchy, and they have like, I don't know how to put it. Do you know how like the Catholic Church has like their archdiocese and all these things? They have all these like levels. Assemblies of God have that too. So they all answer to their like district and regional people. And they all like, they would speak tongues in the service. So someone would be speaking tongues, and then somebody randomly, allegedly, got to translate. And I'm like, so if he can make this one speak tongues and this one translate, why not combine them and have them just start off translating? Why does it have to be in a different language? To me, it made no sense. That I understand that some people are into that. That's fine. I just was like, nope, 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 nope. And so I never went back, and I haven't gone to church since. That ruined me. I was like, I do not, because when you're the new person, they're always like, we have new people, and then they call you out, and you have to like, they did a lot of stuff like hug the person next to you, and I'm like, I don't know you. Don't touch me. I'm just like hiding in the back, like, leave me alone and let me participate like at my level of comfort. And they were not like, nope, they were going to drag us in. I don't know if they thought that was something that I wanted, but wrong. So yeah, I haven't gone since. So that is my story. That is my story, and I'm sticking to it. No, it's the truth. And yeah. Yeah, he was a piece of crap. He kept falling asleep during the service because he'd been up like for 2 days. So it is not easy being that like out of it. And at the time I was still, participating in that lifestyle. So I was like out of it too. But see, I don't get to relax. He got to like act a fool, and I had to like cover it up so nobody would know it. It was a whole thing. Anyway, I wouldn't mind online. It's just that I don't know. Anyway, put a pin in that. So, yeah, I get it. I just, I'm just too paranoid to look. I'm too traumatized. That was not a good thing. It was a bad experience. Like, it made it like, if this is the requirement to go, then I'm not going. Like, that's basically how my brain works. Is like, that's what's going to happen. People are going to be that way and make me act a certain way or participate in a certain way because this is how they've interacted with each other for so long. And I'm just not here for that. What's up, Ben? Good morning, guys. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a good day. I hadn't decided what I was going to do today. I was just about to answer that question, Austin. Ironically, I have no idea. I had no plans. I'm willing to do whatever. And I'm willing to stay on or jump off. Like, I'll do whatever. And the problem is that I've realized is that I don't look for stuff in general. I did notice there was a story about how gummies, like, not Hasbro, but like that H brand, they got cannabis in their gummies, their normal ones, and it's making people sick. So basically they're regular people eating gummy worms or gummy bears, and it has THC in it. And so they're like, they feel sick because they don't know what's wrong. They feel, when you're not expecting it, that would be a surprise that I would not be okay with. Like, please don't ever surprise me like that. I will never be okay with that. Do not alter my perception in any manner without my permission, okay? But yeah. But yeah, I don't have anything really lined up. I did have one little clip from Asmongold I wanted to play just because the way he articulated it was kind of cool. I believe in the idea of God, but I think organized religions screw it all up. I've been to several different denominations, and either the church itself and or members had something off. Yeah, there's a lot of corruption. Like, okay, so I can get into this one because I don't know if you guys know this, but one of my favorite things to watch on my downtime is I love watching people that got out of cults and got out of really extreme situations, extreme religions and things, and just the sociology and the mentality behind how they got involved in the first place. And the bottom line is almost every single one. There's my mom. Hold on. She just sent me something, says, if you give up coffee, carbonated beverages, cigarettes, alcohol, and sex, you'll live longer. But why would you want to? She's like, kind of true. Coming from my mother. So anyway, that was funny. No, but I really like, I really love diving into how people got out of cults and out of like extreme orthodox religions and things, and the extremes people will go to. And one of the common denominators on all of these, when people ask or think or wonder, how did you get so wrapped up in it, is because people are looking for answers, and they're looking for structure and someone else to basically take the decisions out of their hands and to guide them. So they don't want to make the decision, is this right or wrong? They want you to write it down and say, look, this is right, this is wrong. In this case, you do this. When this happens, you do that. So they want the rules kind of laid out, and religion in these cases is one of those things where it gives them something to answer to. It gives them something to strive for. It gives them a set of rules and structure and discipline and consequences. So instead of kind of doing that for yourself, people find that comfort in religion. Now, I am going to be very clear here. I am not saying that I think religion is BS. I'm not saying that. Hi, Gleneth. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that people seek it out a lot when they're spiraling, they're drowning, they're treading water, and they need direction and structure. And unfortunately, it gives this opening for the people in charge to kind of shape their community and shape their people into what they want them to be and get them to do things and act certain ways. So expected behaviors, everyone knows that when they say this, you open your Bible so that it's like a trained response. It's kind of low-key the same reason a lot of people that are spiraling go into the military, for the structure and discipline and accountability and consequences, so that it takes their choice away and they just get to live in a structured world. And it works for people. Some people thrive with that, and good for them. And I'm thank you for your service if that's what you've chosen or whatever. You know what I mean? All organized religions are, I wouldn't say all. I would just say it is a general rule. Yes, all organized religions are radicalized by their denomination. Nowadays, people answer the church instead of a higher consciousness. Here's what's funny is that I learned in passing, it's not something I've ever really looked into, is that each denomination, like Lutheran, Baptist, Assemblies of God, all of them have a basic concept when it comes to being saved in grace that defines which denomination you are based on like which one that you agree with, I guess. And if you guys are into that type of discussion, I can talk about that. I can look it up. I can pull it up, whatever. But anyway, I find it very coincidental that people Reduce your tend to become very outspoken when finding God. It seems to yes, 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 yes. So it's definitely one addiction for another. I'm trying to think how to put this. In my opinion, put that out there. I should have like a button I could push where it goes, in my opinion. In my opinion, addiction is low-key obsession. And people, they say people have addictive personalities. I think anyone can develop an addiction on any level, but the fact is people that are highly addicted and they tend to jump from one addiction to another. You just have to, they don't tell you this, they don't say this because it's weird to say, right? But like you have to substitute your addiction with something healthier, right? So like if I drink Pepsi all the time, I sub it out and I drink water constantly. But then instead of being obsessed, I wasn't obsessed with drinking Pepsi. It was just an example. So like instead of drinking, oh, I'm gonna drink, Pepsi, and I just like the Pepsi tastes good. I have to like take that mindset and place it onto water instead, so that I replace something with something. I guess is what I'm saying. That is very typical of people that are trying to get sober. They're trying to find meaning. They're trying to be hold themselves accountable. If you've noticed, people treat things like AA as religion, almost like a religion. They're obsessed with AA. They're obsessed with the steps they have to take, and they live and breathe it. And a lot of them will get involved more. They'll start sponsoring. They'll start participating, volunteering. They make it replaces their addiction, and it gives the structures, the consequences, the limitations, and the rules, right? Most religions, especially all the different ones under Christianity, are very similar. The similar details will change from one to the other, like with foods, drinks, and activities are okay or not. Yes, and see, that's the thing. And even within, let's say, a Baptist, there's like really orthodox people, and then there's like really kind of a little bit lax. I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna have to look it up because I want to say it properly, because this is something that's been mentioned more than once. Give me a second. So what I'm looking up right now is the core differences between Protestant sub genres. I don't know if that's what it's called. Okay, here it is. I found it. Okay, so for example, let me see if I can. I don't know how this is set up, you guys. So if it's crazy, I'll have to fix it. Oh, it's not that bad. Okay, that's not bad. I'm going to fix this a little bit just for the sake and purposes of this. Oh, that was a whoops. Where is my... I'm trying to figure out which one is... Oh, there it is. Okay, I found it. Okay, just for this sake, I'm just gonna try to make it a little bit bigger. I just screwed that up, watch. Okay. No, here. Okay, I found it. I had to look there. Okay, so I'm gonna put this a little bit here. Okay. We're overlapping a little bit. I don't care. So when it comes to religions, there are different reasons, like the different basically your way to salvation kind of determines what branch of Protestant you are in this case. And this is just a simple search I put in the core differences between Protestant subgenres. I know that's a weird way to say it. Basically, it's just theological differences. So this is what I was talking about regarding salvation, the role of Scripture, the nature of the church. They all believe that the Scripture, as the ultimate authority, they diverge on interpretations and their implications for church practice and doctrine. And that's what that means is like, so basically they all believe that, the Bible is the book, is the guide, is all of these things, right? But when it comes to how to apply it, they differ on that. right? So, of course, these are some of the key ones. Faith alone. Um, Salvation is free from God, received through faith alone, and not good works or sacraments. So that's a big thing. These are the three right here that I was talking about. So, like I was talking about grace, the grace of God, right? Is so this basically says that your faith in God grants you your salvation. This one says that um the belief the Bible is ultimate authority in matters of faith and practice, influencing interpretations of salvation. Other okay, so in other words, if it doesn't say it in the Bible, it doesn't count. You cannot interpret it. You have to take it for its word. Um, Anglicans, Methodists emphasize the role of works and sacraments. So in other words, your good works. So this is the primacy of grace. So basically, the way you behave and your good behavior and your good works in the community, in the church, whatever, they determine your salvation. So here you've got your faith, here you've got your teachings, and here you have your how good you are. Okay? And then of course it depends the role of scripture that changes things too. Tradition, experience, and reason, but only if they align with the scripture. Oh, I forgot the top one. Reformation, they emphasize that the Bible is a primary and sufficient source of truth, but that's not like the only thing. They can take interpretations of it, right? You can like interpret the truth and apply it. This one means that they're not going to interpret it, that it is as written. Basically, church leadership says that it's a hierarchy. This would be like the Assembly of God that I talked about. The church leadership determines. So it's more like the Catholic side of things, where if your pastor or the deacons or whatever say something, then that is true, more true than the scripture itself. So what they say and how they interpret it trumps all of the rest. And see, here's the difference. Here's a couple one. I can never say this word. Episcopal, hierarchy with bishops and things, right? Presbyterian, elders. This is what they're saying here. Congregational means that there's not as much central authority. You have your pastor and all of those things, but right, but it's generally the people. And here's okay. So Pentecostal. I think Assembly of God is Pentecostal. Spiritual gifts, charismatic experiences, so like speaking in tongues and like that kind of thing, and a personal relationship through prayer and worship. So like they worship and they're like you speak with the Spirit, and like it's more like dramatic. Pietism, personal experiment. Why can I not say that word? Experiential relationship with God. Experiences often leading to social activism and community involvement. I've actually not heard of that one. I guess being pious, Dude, he jumped down your kapump. But anyway, but what I was saying is the shared belief in the authority of the scripture, but differing in their interpretations and their approach to religious practice and social engagement. So that's what I'm saying, is that it kind of differs depending on the situation, as far as I can tell from my experience. And so it's basically what I was aware of was the road to salvation. So the road to salvation, whether it be what the Bible says goes, and there's no wiggle room. So what that would mean is that the laws from Old Testament, New Testament, all of those would apply today. Okay, so that's a lot of Orthodox are like that. Those laws don't change. They still apply as is, even if there's no like technology rules and stuff like that, right? But here's a question. Do you think that anyone would actually believe it if someone were to say, okay, well, now there's a new gospel that's out there that incorporates current times? Nobody would believe it, right? Nobody would believe that. I don't know. I mean, they think that they're an entire. Never mind. We're not gonna go there because I'll get nailed for that one. They think they've had other prophets. Like, look at Mormonism. They had a whole ass prophet. Look at Islam. They have a whole ass prophet. Like, so don't take that wrong. I'm not saying that they're an ass prophet. I'm just saying that there's just like a whole nother religion based solely on the prophet. Anyway, So there's the grace through as it's written, there's a grace through interpretation, and there's a grace through good deeds. So those are the three that I know of. That's what I was talking about. The difference between them. And I think a lot of people that aren't really into that structure, I kind of feel like if you get to the same conclusion, you don't necessarily need the guide wire. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't decided, and that's pretty sad because I'm pretty much too old to not have decided yet, but whatever. I'm reading your comment. Yeah, there's people it's weird because okay, again in my opinion, I have a feeling, and I'm not talking okay, so I think back in the day there were reasons for some of the rules like they didn't have there were so if by eating a puffer fish you can get poisoned, a puffer fish would be unclean in the Bible because it's dangerous, in my opinion, right? It's an unclean thing because it can kill you. So that would be my interpretation of why things were banned or not banned and things of that nature. Um, as well as, let's say swine flu or something, right? I think now the limitation of food in religion, if not directly interpreted from scripture, is a method of control. And if you've noticed that any cult, okay, any cult that you can find all of the escaping from, I got out of the cult, and even when it comes to non God fearing ones like sociology, they control your what you eat. That's a big one. Most of them will control your food. Um, most cults will end up being like sexy time at some point. Like non-religious cults or whatever, where there's like a centralized charismatic leader. But when it comes to religious cults, there's always a limitation on food. Food is a big, big deal. What you can and can't eat, when you can and can't eat, what you have to sacrifice, all of that to prove or whatever. And yeah, there's I'm that Baptist, I'm surprised a lot of them like to, if you've seen Southern Baptist churches in movies and stuff, they dance a lot. So that would have been a different faction, I would assume. Austin, I get what you're saying about addiction. I agree with Ben when he says the free will. That's the thing, is that, you can be, it's the same as being a parent where your kids are screwing up and they are. My daughter had an issue with her choices and the boyfriend that she had previously. And I knew, my mom knew, we knew, I knew for a long time. And I just knew there was a point. And this is the same thing when it comes to those toxic relationships. When I try to tell people, some people are not ready yet. They're making these choices just because I know better. I'm not going to stop her from making these bad decisions. I can't stop everything. And if she's going to go down that path, I'm here if she needs me, but I cannot live her life for her. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think that's the concept when people ask that question, is that the free will allows you to make stupid choices, but God's there when you're done, if that makes sense. You got to rescue yourself kind of thing. I know I rescued myself, but I did promise God. I was like, please, get me out of here. And I kept to it, I believe. But I was like, if you can get me out of here, I'm out. And I got out. Yeah. Extreme religion. People rebel. It's a thing. The really hardcore structured ones. People rebel. Some people thrive, but most people tend to rebel. Yeah, free will is the best out religion could have ever come up with. Well, I agree. I agree. I'm not going to get too far into that one. Well, the only reason that Christmas exists is because the they were trying to pull in the pagans and the Celtics into organized religion because they were fighting it. So they took Christmas is not a Christian holiday. Christmas is winter solstice, and all of the traditions are based in pagan lore. So to sit there and be like, well, I'm super religious because of Christmas. No, you're not. That's not even a thing. Just letting you know. Yeah, I don't eat blood either. I hate people love like rare and medium rare meat, and I think it's gross. It just tastes like flesh. I can't think of any other way to put it, and that's icky to me. It's gross to me, but whatever. What's up, morning masterpiece? I don't know why. I was watching Supernatural with Bailey last night. I think they're about to introduce Crowley. I'm super excited. But they were digging graves, and when you said you're digging a pool, that's the first thing I thought of was like this little 6-foot deep pool grave. Like a splash pool, you know? Yeah, none of them are. Like, okay, so Easter's intention is for the resurrection, right? Easter's intention is for the resurrection, and I don't know where the fuck bunnies came from. Or candies and chocolate. Like, I literally haven't researched that. I don't know where that came from. Like, I understand the Christmas thing because of, I know a lot about that kind of lore, but when it comes to Easter, I'm just like, okay, so I understand the celebrating he is risen. I understand that. But where the fuck did the bunnies come from? Oh, like a spring, you're talking about like a spring thing? Yeah, most of the big holidays were a way to merge Christianity with whatever else. Generally, it was in Europe, and generally, it was the Celtic beliefs. The, for lack of a better word, pagans. Period. So what they did is they just kind of took and they merged some of the stuff together. They merged it together, and then they just said, okay, well, this is how we celebrate, which makes no sense. I mean, everything about Christmas is pagan. The tree, the Yule log. I think the only tradition that I've ever done at Christmas that isn't pagan is the candle in the window, because it's supposed to signify that we have room at our inn for our Lord, right? So that's what that's supposed to signify, which I kind of love that. But on the flip side, what's up, Dog Holiday? Welcome back, honey. Appreciate you being here. See, that's what I thought. Like I told you, I knew that everything was kind of a combination of pagan they were trying to basically convert them to Christianity. And they're like, hey, we have this religion. And they're like, yeah, we're good. And they're like, but hey, we're super cool. Not only do we provide the structure and all of these things and your way to salvation, but we even do what you do, bro. Like, we're the cool kids. We do all of these things. But yeah, so I'm just saying, it's just that a lot of people, it's funny to me because I get really weird. If you guys have known me in Discord for quite a while, right? In my server, you guys have seen it. Oh, wait. I'm pulling back because I see your comment, Doc Holiday. So, okay, for anyone that doesn't know, I'm not saying anybody doesn't know. I'm not acting like you're dumb. I'm just saying Passover was back in Egypt when they were marking with the lamb's blood. They were marking the doors, and all of the firstborns in Egypt were gone, right? Okay, so that was a whole thing. That was the original Passover. That was, protecting your family by declaring your faith in blood on the door so that your firstborn wasn't like undone, right? So that was the original Passover. I see what you're saying about the Passover lamb to remove the sin of earth. Yes, I understand that the combination of those two. I can understand people because technically Ash Wednesday is when he was crucified. That's why there's ashes. And then, of course, 3 days. I'm not a Catholic, so, but whatever. 3 days later, it's supposed to be Easter when he has been risen again. And so I understand celebrating that accomplishment of coming back to life. I get it. I get it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just undid my zip. Look, undid my zipper. Sorry. I'm just saying, like, it's just interesting to me how many traditions people are obsessed with, and they feel like if you don't celebrate Christmas, then you're like a shitty Christian or something like that. You know what I mean? But do they even want to acknowledge the fact that 90% Saint Nick? Are you kidding me? That's not like a real. Anyway, Halloween's another one, y'all. Halloween's fun. Halloween was not like all fun candy and stuff like that. They were trying to keep the demons out. They were trying to hide from being found because, they were hiding their faces. And then they were putting treats out, hoping that they would be safe because they would take the treats and leave them be. Hey, TD. And it's just funny to me. Okay, so that's what I was going to say. So in my Discord, I know Spazzy's not here, but she would remember. There's a lot of times where people will obsessively say something like Happy Easter. But then when somebody doesn't say it back, people get really mad. People get super mad when somebody doesn't say it back. And some people, now here's the thing. I think that nobody should really be offended by anyone saying happy whatever, just like I feel like about good morning. If I say good morning and it's evening there, then assume, just interchange morning with evening. Don't make me type it. Okay? You know what I'm saying. I'm saying hello. Hope you're having a good one. That's all I'm saying. It's the same with like Happy New Year's. Well, it's not New Year's here. Okay. Like, okay. Then just don't answer. There's some people that I know personally who are Wiccan and some that are pagan that have these other versions, and people are like, how dare you? How dare you say this? Right? How dare you say this? How could you? That is so wrong. And I'm like, not everyone has to say Happy Easter or Merry Christmas. Some people do not celebrate it. What about people who don't even have the same religion? What about all the Buddhists and Hindus and, atheists and stuff, So suddenly now they're required to respond in a positive way or else. And I hate that. And I went on a tirade a couple years ago. I can post the link. I gotta find it. You gotta give me a second. My phone, I'm telling you guys. Oh my God. They're asking to use one of my parking spots. Hold on. You guys don't understand. I have like, this is just since I started. Give me a second. I'm trying to find. That's my neighbor. So I wanted to answer him. 1 second. Let me find my Discord and I will post it in the chat, but I also have to bring up my chat. So. I'm going to copy the link. Okay, let me go into my live stream. Which always feels really weird because I hear myself talk and I don't want to hear myself talk. I used to have a custom name, but I stopped pouring money into it because why? And so I lost it. But that's okay. It doesn't bother me any. All right. People give kids candy because it makes them go away. That's funny. I agree with you, Cloneth. I agree that your relationship is, and that's the thing, is that, see, some people define whether they're doing it properly as to whether they're adhering to it's not their relationship with God. They let the elders or the people above them handle that. They just follow the rules. Then they don't have to think about it. As long as they're following the rules, they should be good, right? My cat is messing with stuff. Morning, Bad Wolf. Anyway, I know that was a tirade. Thank you, Annette, for bringing up that subject so that I ended up doing all the things and saying all the things. But yeah, there's the Discord link if anybody wants it. You're welcome to join. Doesn't bother me any. It's just understand that it is my server. There are rules. No spooters in my server. I will go crazy if I see them. I will be really pissed off. Like I literally, that's an actual rule. Other than that, don't be a douche to anybody. Don't be a douche, okay? If you're a douche, you're a douche, and I don't like it. I don't know how else to put that. 1 second. So yeah, like don't be a douche, and people are allowed to say what the hell they want. They can say what they want. You know, if you don't agree, that's fine, but you don't get to be a dick about it. It's that simple. I 100% hands down believe in the whole fact that you can agree to disagree, and it does not require you to argue. If you walk into a conversation just determined to convince somebody, then and you're not on a debate team, then you're doing it wrong. It's my opinion. Uh, Dog Holiday, I don't have you in Discord, or else I could send you an invite. I don't think I'm in Jay's anymore. I don't think. I'd have to go searching. I can search right now, actually. I forgot to ask him to add me back. I don't think I'm still in there. I left a whole bunch when there was a whole problem where people were randomly reporting people just to be douches. If you guys know, you know. That was a whole ass problem. No, I'm not still in his. Uh, I've never had anybody have a problem with it, which is super weird. Anyway, okay. So I think I gotten to the point where I'm good. I see you, Morning Masterpiece. By the way, I didn't ping people in my server, which I'm going to do now just because I can, because I'm awesome. Just kidding. I used to be in Jay's years ago. Oh, maybe it would help if I... What's the point of having a server if you can't harass people with an add everyone once in a while? You know? What's up, Kush T? How you doing? Yeah. I used to be in Jay's. A long time ago. Royce and I are friends. We've been friends for a long time. I haven't talked to her in a long time, too. Long time. Everything's a long time, okay? Stranger danger, Kush T. How are you doing this morning? See, I messed up my zipper, and now my jacket's coming open. Just making sure my neighbor doesn't need anything else. I think I'm good. There's skulls. We'll talk later. There's my daughter. We'll talk later. There's my mom. We'll talk later. Cool. Okay. Ah, I'm better. Okay. I know that Papa has a link that he usually posts that works pretty well. Morning Masterpiece jumped in, so I know that it does work. Austin, I meant to do that a long time ago. I'm sorry I haven't until now. You know why. I told you a long time ago. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing good. If you guys have anything that you want to discuss, anything you have a question about, or anything of that nature, I do have something that was interesting that Aspen Gold actually did, and I thought I would bring it up because I was very impressed at his articulation. You guys know that I don't articulate that well. I know I'll put it in my Discord, the sticker. Where's it at? Hold on, let me find it. There it is. I don't know what I'm saying, but I know what I mean. So, I'll ramble because I'm trying to come up with the proper words to explain what it is I'm trying to say. And then somebody will simply put it, and I'm like, well, that was freaking easy. You think it'd be way easier for me. It's not. You think that with all that I talk, that it would be easier. It's really not. What was this? Okay, so that's something I wanted to get into. Don't care about that one. I just look at my face like, does that surprise anybody that I have that look at my face? Here it is. And this one was from like the 25th, so it's a little bit old, but I liked it a lot. So I'm going to pull this up. And I am going to make it a talking point because I want to. Hold on, I'm going to check in a second. Let me get it. It's about one. We'll put it to about 110 when I'm ready. Okay. Okay. Sorry, guys. If you see me looking over here, I'm looking at my other screen. So I'm basically like getting something set up. You know what's funny is that if I'm on a PC, it tends to open up a whole new browser window. I hate when it opens up like a new thing. I know what you mean, because then it like asks you if you want to log in, but then you're already logged. It's like a whole thing. I don't know why it needs to do the most. It used to be you just click it and you're good, but you're welcome to join, you guys. Like I said, just don't be a dick. Honestly. What's up, Paul Sample? Watching people watch things. Yeah, but here's the thing is that I talk a lot. So I give my insights, opinions, and harass people and rant about things. I've been doing a couple reactions lately. If you guys didn't notice, thank you guys whoever checked those out. I appreciate you. I'm only doing it because you guys know how I am. I do what I want, and if I feel like it, I'll do it, and if I don't, I won't. So, um, pretty simple. Pretty simple strategy. I also need to select beats for the competition. I've been talking to the guys, a couple of them, to kind of come up with. I can't really use MIDI files because I don't know, they hurt my ears, and so it's my choice. It's my competition. I don't like it. I don't. They're too tinny, too trebly, I guess, for my preference. And then when I find ones that I think are okay that I like, I send them to like Cliff to give me a second a second opinion. And he did give me a second opinion on some of them from Darnell. The problem is that Cliff and I talk so much that it's the answers are buried like 825 messages ago. So I have to go searching and find it, which I'm going to add to my list of things to do. Give me a second. I have to get my passport. That's going to be fun. I've never had a passport. Night, Clint. Thanks for being here, hon. I love you. Passport beats competition. I was like, I hear. Oh, it's my daughter's tablet in the other room. Dude, I wish I knew a better way for that to work. I apologize, but I don't have. I've never talked to you in DMs, otherwise I could try to find you. Otherwise I could find you there. Yeah. And I'm not going to sit here and do that right now, especially, but so, oh, just give me a whole list of stuff. Okay. I will talk to you about that later, mother. All right, back to what I was doing. So, I have this pulled up, and this one, yeah, have them link you and send me the link. That doesn't work. I don't know. We'll figure it out. You can always send me a message on Instagram, and we'll figure that out if you can. That'd probably be easier. Yeah, everything's always music, and that's the thing. I do a couple of reactions because I felt like it. And right now, actually, like I said, I have Asmongold on screen, and this is something that goes that teeters on the political part, which is okay because I do everything. I do politics. I don't really get into politics all that much. I just make commentary on my opinions on some of the concepts that people are bringing up into the universe. The way that he articulated this was really good. So I'm actually gonna let me Hold on, I have to. I'm gonna move this up a little. Okay. See how I resized it before? I need to resize it again. Actually, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing, y'all. Okay, so this needs to be resized again. There we go. Okay, that's what I wanted. Oops. Ah. I did it again. Sorry, guys. I need to take some time and set up these scenes completely. I just haven't done it. So, is that the whole video? No. There it is. That's better. So I kind of don't want to remove him since what he's saying is what I'm talking about. So we're going to do this for the moment. Look at me adjusting. Good night, Clennis. Okay. So I just want, he articulates something that I thought was really interesting and I completely agree with. So I kind of wanted to, I kind of like being on this side because then I can just point normally and I don't have to like do that, reach across myself. I can just point. I like how he articulates this. So I started watching this, and this video is actually called COVID is Back. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I wanted to see what he was going to say and if there was something I needed to know about. And he tends to be on top of things. He tends to be on top of some of the pretty current topics, put it that way. So in this case, something he's talking about. Why does he look like AI at this moment? Do you remember I was saying yesterday about how some of the HD not filters, but like to fix my face, that's what it makes me look like over there. Okay, so here, I'm going to start playing this. It's over here on my side, but I'm going to point over there because I put the video here. He articulates something. See if you guys can catch what I'm talking about. I'm sure you will. Mic check. Okay, let's do this. Make sure that it's on. Make sure that it's on. Okay, so he articulates something that I thought was an interesting concept. I totally dig it. I wish I could have said it that way. So here we go.
Terrified and upset everybody was.
Nope. I didn't go back far enough. Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go.
Do you remember how terrified and upset everybody was after the Patriot Act got signed, that the government was going to be able to read all of your messages and look up anything that you ever typed? And now it's just a given that everybody accepts? I think that you really downplay how easy it is for people to become completely complicit in tyranny.
Delete me.
Oh, and that was a perfect time for a commercial because that was exactly what I wanted to talk about. That's exactly what I wanted to talk about. People were so upset that when they you guys hear me talk about this all the time. You hear me talk about all the time that they kind of do like a soft open for certain things to be included into our mainstream life, right? So whether it's AI, whether it's over sexualized content, no matter what it is, they kind of low key, they test it and they see what people allow. So people start fighting, right? Fighting. And they're like, no, this is not acceptable. I will not accept this for my children. I don't want this in our lives. I don't want this in our music. I don't want this on TV, right? So they have all of these stipulations where they're like, no, we will not comply. We will not accept this. Okay. So they back off. Oh, our bad. Yeah. So now we cancel somebody and then we move on. And then a year, 6 months, a couple years later, all of a sudden they soft test it again. Suddenly there's another little push. And all of a sudden it's like people, depending on what's going on, people aren't so against it. People allow it because maybe they had the right combination. For example, over sexualized content, the right combination of a viral video or a viral sound on a social media. even though it's really overly sexual, the fact is that people want to use it because it's cool and popular and they get lots and lots of likes for it. And so it drives it so more people are using it. And so they start to ignore the fact that someone is standing there with no clothes on. Like they put that aside because the benefit of this viral sound and getting likes is more important to them. Same with AI. So they started with AI and people are like, ew, no, ew, ew, ew. We're anti-AI, right? I've always been anti-AI unless it's a tool. That's my opinion. You guys don't have to agree with me. But anyway, so they push a little bit of AI and everybody's like, this is really weird. I don't like this. We don't like this. We don't like this. Well, then they start pushing it as a tool. People start accepting a little bit. And then what they do is they make it into your apps and they make it so all you have to do is select a bunch of pictures and you get really cool pictures of you in a Superman outfit. Or you can like look at you as like a Beetlejuice character, right? Or you can make your cat look like a Pixar character. And that's fun and cute, right? That's no harm, no foul, right? So they incorporate it in every day. Incorporate the same things in every day. And all of these apps, have these stipulations where all of your stuff is used to train AI. It's used to further AI. Your data is being used on all these different levels. And before we were like, rah, rah, we don't want this. And now all of a sudden it's no big deal because they snuck it in. They made it acceptable. They made it mainstream. And they keep trying until it works. So everybody was up in arms over the Patriot Act. And now it's just a given. Well, of course, these companies are going to have my information. Of course, they're going to sell my information. That's just how things are. We're accepting it like it's okay. It's never okay, right? But we're more like, well, what are we going to do about it? There's nothing we can do about it. We're stuck. Well, that's because we're complicit and we are basically laying down and taking it. I'm just saying. That's my opinion. I thought he articulated it perfectly. Complicit in tyranny, because that type of behavior is tyranny. That's why people were so against it. That's why people have a problem with it. When the government's doing it is what he's talking about. I'm talking about on all the different levels, not just government. But anyway, I thought he articulated that really well. And I'd be interested to know what you guys think, because you guys have heard me stomp about this, and I'm like, rah, 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 about how we're allowing it because it's convenient, easy, or fun. You slap a fun label and, you make something really expensive, like AI costs a lot of money to like generate stuff. And then you start to pull that really high price point down. And people are like, oh, this really expensive thing is this really cheap price if you go through this really cool app that takes all your information and trains their AI and sells it to Pakistan or something, right? Now it's okay because it's cheap, it makes it easy, it's convenient, and it's integrated seamlessly. And it's fun. Everybody will do anything for fun. So anyway, that was my rant about that. I thought he articulated it perfectly. In fact, I'm actually going to go back and I'm going to play it one more time, and then I'm going to cut this part. I'm recording, by the way. I'm going to cut this part off. It started at 1:05. I started it. And so I'm going to play it one more time, just so you know, remember, since I talked so much.
Okay.
Oh.
Do you remember how terrified and upset everybody was after the Patriot Act got signed, that the government was going to be able to read all of your messages and look up anything that you ever typed? And now it's just a given that everybody accepts? I think that you really downplay how easy it is for people to become completely complicit in tyranny or chaos.
As often. Snaps for Asmongold. Nailed it. Loved it. I love that. So anyway, tell me what you guys think. I want to know. Or don't. Idiocracy. Are you talking about the clone thing? I don't even know what Idiocracy is. I've never seen it.
To the pandemic.
I didn't mean to hit that button. That's great. Oh. Oh, this is too funny. Reddit. Okay. This is too funny. Idiocracy 2006. Thoughts Reddit movies on Reddit. Idiocracy 2006 is a cute movie, but it's okay, by the way, this is spelled so badly. Where's it at? I'm trying to zoom in on this. Oops, wrong button. Let me see if I can get it close enough. But it is, so it is core premise. No, it's with no apostrophe. Core premise is the wrongest idea in history. Worst. Most incorrect. Right? All right. So yeah. That was a really intelligent comment on Reddit, y'all. You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't stand the baby ones, and here's why. Here's why. I am not a fan of voiceover content. You guys know me. You guys know that I don't scroll. I don't watch content. I don't watch reels. I don't like them. They're not my favorite thing. Yes, I make them, but I just don't have time to sit there and scroll through gimmicks and weird faces and people all doing the same thing, right? Why is my hair doing this wild poof? Anyway, so I have a problem with that. I don't like it. I don't sit and scroll. If I'm on my phone, I guarantee you I'm probably reading or I'm talking, right? So to me, I see all these little baby ones, and they're voiceovers. So it's like a clip of an actual show, but it's the baby version. And to me, I'm like, I don't care. I don't think it's cute. I'm like, okay. Like I saw the first one, okay, that was interesting. And then after that, I just don't care. I don't care. Like when people do like where they have a saying and someone just like along with the words, they just lip sync it. I don't like those. I hate those. I'm like, you just mouthed somebody else's phrase while looking weird into the camera. I'm like, I don't know. Like I said, my opinion's not always going to be everybody's opinion. People can love things that I can't stand, and I can hate things that people love, or hey, flip that. Whatever works, you guys. Doesn't bother me. I know you guys like them, and I think that's great. Ow. A problem with a lot of the reason I was gonna do a whole bunch of like TikToks and stuff. Like I thought it'd be funny to like do a couple on overconsumption and stuff, which just irritates the crap out of me. But they use popular sounds, and so I end up, if they speak, I can't watch it. False sample. That's funny. I'm trying to decide if you guys are on like a 7-minute delay or if I'm just not being interesting enough. I can't decide. I'm playing with my hair. You guys get over it. I can't help it. I can't. That's why my hair's always up, because I mess with it. It's one of my things. And I talk with my hands. I'm Italian, you guys. I'm Italian. I should watch Idiocracy. Yeah, I probably should. I can see who's in it, and I actually like some of these actors. That was a really the aughts were a really good time for certain types of movies. I don't know why. Immediately, I think of Dogma when I see the picture. I don't know why I think of that, even though most of them weren't in Dogma, but for some reason, it just makes me think Dogma era. Does that make sense? Especially because the way they're standing, looking at the camera from like this angle up above. I'll show you. This right here, this picture is absolutely a picture from the aughts for movies. This is so common, the way that they do that. I remember Office Space. I wasn't a huge fan. So it says from the creator of Office Space, so I'm looking at that. I'm trying to see what else I had saved in my little save file. Ben, welcome to the Ellsworth server. I see you. I just accidentally jumped into my mod voice chat. Sorry. It's one step down from where I was. Let's check mark that one. Okay, so I want to watch this. Austin, I think you sent me this one. This, you guys know this guy's not my favorite person, which is okay. Did I have sound on the second time I played the Asmongold clip? Because if I didn't, that's kind of funny. Of course, I can edit that out, just cut it before that, but... Oh, wait, how many views did he get? 38,000? That's not bad. A straight up position, you know what? They have this thing where it's like the way your cat's tail is means their mood. And in general, it's usually pretty accurate. However, my cat's an asshole. He's an orange cat, and that does not translate. Let's put it that way. Hey, what's up, Red Wolf? Welcome in, welcome in. I hope you're doing well. I hope you are good. Yeah, I need to watch Idiot. Okay, fine. I'll put it on my to-do list. I'll do it. Accuracy. And I do have Beats. Man, I gotta sit down with somebody and listen to Beats. I hate it because I listen to them and I think I find the ones that I like. And then I turn around and I talk to someone like Cliff, and Cliff's like, that one's really not gonna work, but this one might. The one that I didn't like as much, but I understand. And so then he's like, but then if they could, and he tells me like a mixing thing, and I'm like, so I need to like take notes and write it down, but I have to get somebody on board with me, like at the same time, like on a voice call to do that. And he's been super busy, so I haven't been able to. I was talking to Skulls this morning about my dislike of MIDI files. I personally don't like them, but I don't know if artists like them. So I don't know. It might be an interesting switch up to the competition this year and just use a high treble MIDI file. I don't know. We'll see. Red Wolf, by the way, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put your new track once I find it. I'm going to find it. Actually, I'm going to do it on my PC. I don't know why I'm trying to do it on my... I'm going to put it in the chat. I really should like have the chat popped out if I was smart. But, you know, never claimed that I knew what I was doing all the time. I am pulling up my own live stream and I'm going to mute me. Ugh. Be quiet, girl. Nobody asked you. Okay. YouTube. We're going to pull up your channel. Oh, what? All right, bye, Annette. Have a good time at church. Enjoy your day. There it is. Found it. God, it took me a minute. There. Okay. I put it in the chat. I'm going to put this over here, close this, and get back on track. Was I ever have it on a track? I don't even know. I don't even know. Dude, my mood detector is right here. That's why Jay told me yesterday. Oh, what is wrong with my hair? He told me yesterday, he's like, you should do the horror games because basically it's written all over my face. You can see me being like, I don't want to play this game. I'm scared. I would totally emote. That's why I don't stream when I'm playing with like Cliff and Vikes because I know they're like, blah, 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 and I'm like, I have this look like, shut up, you assholes. So, all right. So I'm going to end up playing this one. Fast forward to better TV. I'm really okay. I don't watch YouTube on my TV. It's not a thing for me. You keep putting that, Austin, with the eyebrows. Is that what it is? Is my eyebrows? I don't use my eyebrows very much, do I? I guess I kind of do. Now I feel like an angry bird. You're making me feel like an angry bird. Am I an angry bird? Yeah, Red Wolf, you better get your grammar right. I will. Just kidding. Just kidding. Anyway, you guys, if you get an opportunity, check out his song. Definitely he's got flows down. Like it's ridiculous. It's seriously ridiculous and is not getting as much traction as I will hope it would. And it makes me mad, but that's okay. This is on my nerves. I can never find a good place to put this stupid thing. Because I feel like it's always on top of my face. There. Is that better? I should hook it up here so it comes in from this side. So then I could be over. Right now it's across my entire, you can't tell, but the whole boom arm is across this whole place. I don't know. Whatever. Oh, sweet. I'm glad you made it in. I'm glad you made it in. That took some work. Okay, so do you guys remember the video that I did on the dead internet theory? I'm going to say that again. You know why? Because I'm going to record this. Because I want to. Hold on. So you guys remember the video that I did on the dead internet theory under my conspiracy theories playlist? It is on the channel. I'm going to link it below somewhere. This is a mini version of that. This is a short because Austin knows that you're not going to get me to watch a 48-minute video, usually, because I will talk for 80% of that and it'll end up being a 4-hour video. So I try really hard not to make anyone suffer through that many hours of me rambling. So this video is by the Y-Files. You guys know how I feel about the Y-Files. I like the Y-Files. And I know people love the heckle fish because it's like a kind of like a comic relief and kind of breaks up the monotony. But me, I'm okay without it. To me, you know me, I don't like gimmicks all that much, but I could appreciate it. So this is from the Y-Files. This is the internet a lie? Is the internet a lie? The dark truth about AI and fake content. I'm going to put it on the screen. Hold on. Okay. So it's right there. This is the Y-Files. It's a short. So let's see what they have to say. I'm hoping this has something to do with the dead internet theory, which, by the way, if you don't know what the dead internet theory is, basically means that everything that you interact with, all of the posts that have been done are, in my opinion, the chances of your interactions and the comments being real are significantly less than 50%. So people have so much fake content, fake interactions, fake posts, that the chances that you're interacting or commenting or watching something that wasn't made by a human is very likely. And that the extreme conspiracy theory is that basically the internet is all fake people, is not real people. Anyway. So I'm going to watch this teeny part of this, which is 1:27. I think we can suffer through it. Do you think we can do the whole thing without me? He'll probably copyright me, but do you think we can do the whole thing without me pausing? We're going to find out. Okay. The dark truth about AI and fake content, and maybe I should turn the sound on. There we go.
What if I told you that most, if not all of your online existence is fake? The articles you read, the Twitter accounts you follow, even this video you're watching right now. It's all fiction, created by artificial intelligence whose job is to keep you clicking on content that doesn't matter and keep you buying products that you don't need. You, me, everyone. We're living in a real-life matrix designed to distract you from the truth, that we're just drones in a digital anthill. We live, work, and die so that the wealthy and powerful can grow more wealthy and powerful. This is called the dead internet theory, and there's some compelling evidence that it's real. Let's find out why.
Oh, does he have a whole video?
The core premise of the dead internet conspiracy.
How is, man, that seemed like a lot longer than 40 seconds. So that is basically the gist of what I was saying, the gist of what I have my, in the video that I was talking about. So the thing that I have it was weird to me that hit me a little bit wrong is that he said, even me. So did he make this video with AI, or is he saying that I'm not a real person? This is all fake content. I don't know. I would think that you would want to separate yourself as being real when you're bringing up something about a conspiracy theory about how everything's not real. But hey, I get it. I get it. I see you.
The core premise of the dead internet conspiracy says that most internet content and the consumers of that content are fake. They don't exist. So how much content on the internet is actually created by AI? Actually, it's more than you think. Studies say that only about 50% of web traffic is human.
Told you.
And that number's going down every year.
Told you.
In 2013, the Times reported that half of YouTube traffic was bots masquerading as people. And this was so scary that YouTube employees were worried about an inflection point.
So they just replaced the YouTube employees with bots. Win-win. Took care of that problem.
People. And this was so scary that YouTube employees were worried about an inflection point where their algorithms would be so overwhelmed by bot traffic that they couldn't tell what was real, eventually seeing actual human traffic as fake.
Oh, anyone that's ever had a fake traffic and their views taken away and all of the other things, then they know that this is true.
They called this event the inversion.
Ominous.
It is.
Okay. Hold on for 2 seconds. Bailey. What? Hold on. There's somebody at the door. 2 seconds. There's somebody at the door? There was somebody at the door, and I didn't know it was that same neighbor. Okay, so that was a cut moment. I'm gonna cut that out of the video because my daughter was freaking out because there's somebody at the front door and she didn't know what to do. So, had to do that. Anyway, so basically, this pretty much confirms everything that I was saying about the dead internet theory, in my opinion. It confirms everything that I was saying in the other video, which is basically that most of the internet traffic is bots at some point, right? Like I said, I had a little bit of an issue with him saying that, even me, and I'm like, I wouldn't have said that. But, hey, he's got a way bigger following than me, so obviously he knows what he's doing. But on the flip side, it's kind of like, if that was in 2013 and they were worried about all of these bot accounts affecting traffic, right? And I don't know if they're talking about bot accounts like the paid bot accounts that people purchase, Or because what happens is content creators get nailed for invalid traffic all the time. We get hit with this thing like it's invalid traffic, and they get penalized for it. They limit their videos, they take some of their revenue, they take views away, they basically block their videos. It's a major issue, and they can give them community strikes for that, for having like, fake accounts or bot accounts or something like that, allegedly. What's funny to me is that they use bots and AI to determine this. Right? And so then they are stepping over that line of considering human behavior as fake because you can't tell the difference. Right? And unfortunately, that actually leads up to my next subject, which I'm going to do in just a minute. I found something that was really interesting, and I don't know if it's like a tabloid type thing or if it's a real thing. So I wanted to look that up with you guys. But anyway, I could get more into the dead internet theory. I'd like some more statistics and proof of some of this would be really nice. Like if they dove into one account and then they showed, okay, so these are all bot comments. These are all bot this, and this. This is bot content. And they showed that statistically. Maybe they do in one of these videos. I don't know. That to me would be super interesting. I'd love to see that. Anyway, I'm going to put the link to the short down below for what that's worth into his channel. I do like his content. I think he's a very good presenter. I know people love Hecklefish. I prefer him. I like him and how he articulates and how he speaks. I think he's got a great voice and he comes up with some good concepts. So if he has a writer, or if he's doing it himself, kudos to that. So So yeah, Paul, a long time ago, I actually had my thumb, I hit, those wood paneling, like they almost look shredded on the walls from back in the day. I had this wood paneling and it was a splinter that was under my nail about here. And they put me in the eye room and all the nurses panicked and like all of them were like kept peeking in and I was like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, well, we thought since you were in the eye room that we saw your chart and you had this big splinter, we thought it was in your eye. And I was like, oh, no, thankfully. But yeah, they get really, really gross with eyes. Eyes are weird. A lot of people can't touch their own eyes. I can. I wear contacts. I can touch my eye. Doesn't bother me. But yeah. Okay. I just saw something pop up. I don't know. I love Rumi Official. Do you guys know who Rumi Official is? I might. This is a long one. I probably won't watch this. I might have to watch this off of a live stream because you guys will go crazy if I watch the whole thing here. I love Rumi Official. Okay. Fake TikTok musicians and the death of truth online. I don't know. This looks really interesting. I might have to watch this offline. I don't think I talk as much when I'm offline. I'm definitely saving it, if nothing else. I'm saving that for later for sure. Anyway. I'm pulling up this other one. Okay. So this is a different kind of concept than some of the other stuff, but this has to do kind of on the same lines of AI acceptance and fake stuff and kind of the integration of it into our daily lives in a very, for lack of a better way to put it, this is how I feel about it, a very invasive way, to the point where you almost can't even look at something without seeing something AI included in some aspect of it, whether it be a video or music or an app. AI is working behind the scenes. AI is being integrated right in front of our faces. But this actually kind of threw me. And what I'm doing is I'm actually pulling it up with the same search that it showed up on my phone. I didn't search for this. It showed up. Like, it just decided I needed to see this. I was like, okay. So I'm going to scoot in a little bit. It says several tech giants, Elon, Mark, and Sam Altman, are envisioning future beyond the smartphone with a focus on brain-computer interfaces, augmented reality, and AI-powered devices. They're predicted to replace the need for physical touchscreens and physical devices altogether. Neuralink is developing a technology that allows its users to control devices with their thoughts, potentially eliminating the need for physical interfaces. AR glasses, we've seen this in movies for years. AI-powered devices. Wearable tech. Significant shift in vision. These tech leaders suggest a significant shift away from touchscreen as a primary means of interacting with technology. And Apple disagrees. Apple's actually surprised me a little bit. Apple seems to be a little bit more on the side of reason. Kind of. Like, Apple is Apple, and everybody hates Apple so much. Oh, we hate the iPhone industry and all this. And I understand that. But yet, they've kind of stood their ground. They're standing their ground and like, yeah, we're not doing all that. And they're not necessarily jumping on board right away with all of the things that a lot of these big tech giants and Android is doing. So I was trying to see if there was an actual... It's really annoying me being so big. Because are there videos about it? This was in January. Oh. April. I was trying to see if there was anything recent. Yeah, VO is ridiculous. This right here is ridiculous. And Austin, I know you sent me a couple of those. I'll actually pull some up. Hold on. I have some. Actually, what was this? They have articles. See? But Tim Cook isn't playing along. See? He doesn't. He's like, Okay, so these are generated by VO, or what was it called? VO3 from Google. Not this. Nobody cares, lady. It was just going to be gross. I'm going to be grossed out, aren't I? So this is by VO3. This is all AI. These are not real people, not real situations, did not really happen.
I released 100,000 killer bees in my bedroom. No plan B, no plan A either.
I've been buried alive under 10,000 pounds of beans. Let's see if I can get out.
I gave my credit card
Okay.
number.
We'll say right there. Did you guys see it? Hold on. I'll try and catch it. Okay, watch the beans on his head right here. Just watch them. They're like oddly, it's gooey, so I can assume that they're attached, but watch. Let me get to the right spot. It's when he leans forward and then leans back, it disappears. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going frame by frame, guys. I do things frame by frame. It's making me lag a little bit. It's okay. Okay, watch. There's a bean on his head. It's going to be about right here. See? We're about right in this area. Can you see my mouse on screen? I hope. Okay, it's right here. See? I'm going frame by frame. Okay, so it's clearly a whole ass bean right there, right? Now watch it. There it goes. You ready? There it goes. AI. See? You guys see that? Boom. It's gone. 3 frames. 1. Hold on. It's pausing. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Gone. 3 frames. And these are the frames between on the same second. Look. See, it says 12 on the screen. See? So yeah. I spotted that. Like, that's the kind of stuff I look for, just because it's those little things. I mean, you can see clearly.
I gave my credit card number to the dark web just to see what happens.
I'm trying to get adopted by crocodiles. They haven't eaten me yet, so that's a good sign. Welcome to Rabies Roulette. Today, I covered myself in raw chicken, and I'm gonna fight off stray dogs.
They begged me not to eat this fruit, but I felt energetically drawn to it.
Day 143 of rebuilding the Great Pyramid in my backyard. 15 years, 2 divorces, 1 restraining order, and today,
One thing they
I
also
found Bigfoot.
screw up is eyes. They get eyes wrong a lot.
Atlantic Ocean.
Let's see if 41 million square miles.
This one's very clear. This guy looks like a damn demon. He looks like a demon. I told you the eyes, they always get the eyes wrong. The eyes just don't look right. They're very empty, shark-like. It's the same here. This guy, his eyes are creepy too. They tend to make the whites a little bit too white, and they tend to smooth out like around the actual like the actual eyeball. Watch. Look at that. This is what the HD upgrade in like shorts does to my face, which is super weird. That's just not right. See? Your eye does not do this, even with bad quality. It doesn't completely change shape. Like that. Okay? In my opinion, this is my opinion. And then you have Demon Boy here. Super Demon Boy. Another thing they don't do very well are gums and lips. Okay, so he has a space here by his tooth, and it's gone. Look. 1 frame, you guys. 1 frame. It kind of stays the same this whole time. His teeth actually just flat out disappear into gums. Where does teeth go? Those aren't teeth. Here's the gap right here. The space, it gets a little bigger. And it flat out disappears. It's gone. This is Simple Man's step-cousin. That's funny. You can see his entire inside of his mouth changes. His eyes are demons the whole time. This whole thing bothers me, but that's okay. So you could call it bad quality, but it's pretty clear.
Atlantic Ocean.
Let's see if 41 million
His whole mouth looks like it's moving on a different level.
square miles fits in 1 man. G'day, legends. I'm drinking toilet water from...
Okay, look at his eyes. His eyes are not cool. His eyes don't make sense. Eyes do not look like this. This is not normal.
every country on Earth.
I'm assuming this section right here is going to shift.
And today we're deep in Equatorial Guinea.
Yes,
It
and
didn't.
actually,
I was wrong. It didn't. I swear they put commercials on anything they can. Okay, so that was that one. Let's look at a different one. 100 examples? Do we want to watch 100 examples? Does anybody care if we watch 100 examples? Okay, this to me is absolutely wrong on every level, and here's why. We've started seeing a lot of these on shorts, and people think, okay, so personal rant, you guys. So here's the problem. People are like, oh, I love to see the babies and all that stuff. People made into babies and things. Yeah, that's cute. That's fine. But that's the problem. That's the in. That's where you get the cute, fun stuff. And then you do something like this that is sincerely, get back, interchangeable with real life. This is not... This is obviously something you could probably pick up as AI, but the fact is that in a glance, and anyone that isn't looking for AI can be easily fooled. And by the way, the eating sounds are disgusting. No, Austin, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm giving people some ideas and some ways to know, to be able to tell that something is AI. The point is, at this point in the internet, if you think it could be AI, it probably is. You're more likely that you are correct in saying that something is AI than it's not. You're more likely to be a proven correct than you are to be disproven, is what I'm saying. And this technology has been, I mean, it's been out forever. This stuff has, but the fact that people are able to make it to this level is wild to me. I hate that.
I'm using VO3 to generate videos, and it's so easy.
Okay, so this is how you start. You find a tree, and you just like, you know,
It's
punch it
super
down.
sad because these streamers, this is what they look like and how they sound. My daughter watches this crap all the time, and they're like, and so then we do this, and they're like, the whole time. But his eyes are not right, in my opinion. Ew, I don't want to talk to you, dude. I was trying to go frame by frame and I skipped. His eyes are weird. They just don't look normal. And I don't think he's blinked once. He hasn't. He's not blinked once. I'm going frame by frame, guys. Is he going to blink? No. He has not blinked. He's not blinked. Yeah, there's no way. But here's the thing. This costs, like I was saying yesterday, like $250 a month for a specific amount of credits. I looked it up. And you still use your credits. So you could imagine that people that are really wanting to put together, and I have a limited amount of how much it can do at one time. So you could only, a lot of times people are limited to, let's just say 8 to 15 seconds. So you can't really create a whole video, like a 8-minute video, so you get your mid-rolls, right? You can't create a whole 8-minute video that easily, I don't think. But if you can do the math. If you, for $250 a month, you can create a bunch of shorts that are like this quality, right? Let's say 2 shorts. We'll do 2 shorts, and you can hit 1 million views on each. You've not only paid back that $250, you're going to make way more than that on different platforms. You're going to make way more than that, but you're going to have pure profit. So of course people are going to be using this. It's worth it. It's worth it.
Un café con leche, por favor.
Of course, we know that this is
Bigfoot here. Checked my breakfast.
His mouth is bad. I'm not saying that I expect these things to be working properly, you guys. I know that this technology is new and that these aren't perfect. I understand they're showing just the look at the background and everything. They're showing how much these can do. I'm pointing out things that I noticed personally that are just huge red flags. His mouth is a big one. Watch it again. Did you see it? I mean, duh. We know that nobody got footage of this.
What's one move with AI that makes haters go crazy every time?
Oh, y'all gotta give them that. This is wild. It's over. We are cooked on that thread. You get me? That
sounds like something my 11-year-old would say. Hey, Bailey, it's over. We are cooked on that thread. She's like, what? Is that something you would say? She said she'd say we're cooked. It's over. We are cooked on that thread. She said she'd say that we were cooked and that's it. But yeah, that's something she says. She just made fun of it. Anyway.
It's a force, a wild, untamed
This is a really
might.
good one.
And she commands your awe with every breaking light.
Except for
Oh my god.
Is he AI or is the game AI too?
With a pickaxe!
Okay, so Riz is basically short for charisma.
This is a good one.
And that's a verb as well.
That's a really good one. This one's really good. One word, Sasquatch. I mean, obviously this is like a Ratatouille thing, but...
I remember when I was 30 years old and they just talked about...
Okay, this one's good except for the sound. You can tell by the audio. That's super easy. Like they ruined it with the audio. You can tell because, okay, so... I have had my voice used by AI to create shorts on the other channel I was working about. You can tell the difference, especially when it's your own voice. So you start to notice things. So one of the things that you notice is the compact sound that AI voices have. Okay. They don't have the in between, the breathing. They're very succinct. They're very clipped and they're very compressed sounds. Okay. Even if it sounds like there's some type of emotion in it at all, the fact is that they sound like, I can't explain it other than if you know what audio looks like, where it's like, waves, right? It's like spikes. Imagine that all of your AI sound is going to fit into a specific section, like a rectangle. I can't explain it. Fuck. Oh, I can do it. Actually, I'm going to draw it. I'm going to draw it. So... Okay, so like I do too much audio stuff. Okay. Okay, so this is the difference, you guys. This is the difference. The top one would be normal audio. The bottom one would be AI. Okay? So my point is that there is a absolute... Sorry, I know I just did my lines all crazy. Okay, so there's the lines I'm talking about where it would be like a rectangle. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. So it'd be like a rectangle on the bottom where everything is compressed into this section. And then there's the same on the top. See? This would be the breath leading in. Okay, and it kind of looks like telemetry. So you'd have the breath leading in right there, where your AI would be like this. See, where it just goes straight and then it suddenly just jumps into a sound. Okay? I'm not saying that I am up on all of the information. I'm saying that is my personal experience. You can tell it's clipped. That's how I can tell music is clipped. That's how I can tell music is usually AI. I don't always get it right, but I can usually tell if it's an AI voice and this guy has it. So here, watch this guy. Listen. Not here.
I remember when I was 30 years
Do you hear it?
old and they just talked about AI. They always said it would take over the world. Little did I know it actually would.
Okay, so yeah, he laughs, but his entire...
They always said it would take over the world. Little did I know it actually would.
All of his sounds are very, very, very clipped and compressed. Now, either it's been mixed down like crazy and it's been like muffled and compressed by an audio person, or it's AI. 99 chances out of 100, it's probably AI. My opinion. So...
In shocking news, J.K. Rowling's yacht sank with her on board after being attacked by orcas off the coast of Turkey.
She blinks too much.
Have you seen the images Resist is posting on X?
Oh my God, a talking muffin!
Imagine the damage that this type of AI can do for a product. So let's just say, like I said, Austin, I'm not necessarily up to date on everything that's going on right now. I'm saying it's a very obvious way. So here's the thing. If you're good at AI and you know how to manipulate AI and you know how to do, it properly, it's probably not noticeable. But the general public does not know how to manipulate AI in that level. So the basic understanding and most things that people will see that are posted by the commoner, the regular commoner, right? The regular public is going to have noticeable things for being able to tell that it's AI. Now, the difference is when you have a company, a professional who is in there and who is trying to actively fool you. And to me, that is the worst part. They're going out of their way to fool you, not for the purpose of being entertained, but for the purpose of trying to pass as not AI. And the whole point that's the entire goal of not 90, like 50% of anyone messing with AI is so that you don't know it's AI irritates me. Just let it be AI, let it be what it is. Now here's why I'm going to say this is dangerous. Oh, it's just, of course, vacuums don't pick up spaghetti. You know what? There's a lot of stupid people out there, aren't there? And if a lot of people, let's just say, I got the best request for me to buy something off Shine or however you say it. It was like literally these two like strips and then like a strip down there with the dental floss in between. I'm like, girl, I am a big girl. You ain't getting me to wear that thing. Okay, we're not doing that. So anyway, if you had something, their point is that they push a product, they sell, and then they get it off the market because a lot of them are really badly done and they're not expected. They're just trying to get a cash grab. Okay. So if you're trying to get a cash grab and you put this on a TikTok and you have this vacuum and you have someone's like, oh my God, look how powerful this is. And it doesn't mess it up and you don't have to clean it. Dumbass people are going to say, oh, and they're like, well, I can see it. There's a video of somebody posting in the comments as a review saying, here's my experience with this item, right? If they did it with AI, all of a sudden now you've got verified that there's a purchaser and it worked perfectly. And then all of a sudden you've got people running to go buy this product. They get a cash grab and everybody gets screwed over. To me, this is just irresponsible as shit. It's a cool concept, don't get me wrong, but can you see how it can be twisted and used in a negative way? If everything good, this is why we can't have nice things. Everything good is going to be twisted in a negative way because people are people. They are greedy. They're selfish. They will do whatever they can to take their piece. Okay. I know I'm ranting, whatever. I'm not going to go through this whole video. I'm not going to do the whole thing. There's too many.
You have no idea what's coming. You've opened a door that can't be closed.
These are good, but they're
Are you
obvious.
still serving breakfast? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Her voice is very obviously AI. Super AI. Some BBL Spanx. That's awesome. BBL Spanx. I got BBL Spanx too. I almost wore mine today, but I didn't.
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Whoa!
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Okay, I'm over the video. Anyway, I'm just showing some examples. I just wanted to see, now that they're in the fantastical thing, I like that this fantastical because I can tell it's obviously not true. And if you think about it, let's just say you were a vampire hiding in 2025. in plain sight, but you know, you had to like keep your fangs away and stuff, and someone caught you on video, you could just be like, I don't know what they're talking about. This is AI. They could be out in the open and yet people catch them doing crazy things and they'll be like, yeah, it's just AI. Who would tell them any different? I don't know. I just thought that was really super interesting in general.
Wood.
I don't want to talk about your wood, bro. No more wood. Chucking and chucks. No chucks. Anyway, that was interesting. I would like to get more into it. I like to be prepared. I think that one of the worst things I've seen lately that people are doing is they're sending music to reaction channels, pretending like it's their music when it's completely 100% AI generated. And to me, that is despicable and it's deceptive and I don't like it. If you created an AI song or had AI create a song and you want someone to critique it, then own it. If you're embarrassed about it, then why are you putting it out there and pretending like it's your art? If you're surprised before you see what the end result is, it is not your art. If you really don't want to agree with me, I don't care. You're a good author. You can describe things really well. Congratulations. You're not an artist. It's not how that works. Anyway, enough of my AI ranting. You know I love my AI. I can go on. Do you want me to call AI? I can be like, listen here, bitch. I could do it. I'm not going to, but I could. With great AI comes great responsibility. What's up, Renee? I saw you. I did see you, and I threw you a heart, but I was recording, you know? Even though that got screwed up by having somebody at the door. I think it was this video. I don't even know. What's up, Papa? Oh, is it your brother's birthday? Happy birthday from me. He lives there, doesn't he? I don't know. Can't remember. Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the problem. Okay, so here's another issue that I see. Another major issue that I see with using AI in these capacities is the ability to attempt to make truth out of theory and fiction. Okay, so like if they're using AI, for example, to show how they built the pyramids, and let's say that they're using historical, mathematical, theoretical inputs. Okay. So let's say that the person making the video has decided that they are biased towards a specific conspiracy theory regarding the pyramids and include that into an informational, instructional video. Let's say that the intention of the video is to be an instructional, educational, okay, versus fantastical or fun entertainment, right? All they have to do is insert an element that is not factual to twist it. And so because it's entertaining, because it's a visual thing, people will lean into it and people will be more likely to believe it because that's how people are. They're like, it hits the different parts of your brain. You know, I prefer to read, but if you read and you see and you hear and you can, it makes your brain make it make sense. People tend to believe it. So to me, it's just irresponsible because, like I said, we can never have nice things. Anything that is good and helpful and informative and appreciated is going to be abused, and people are going to use it corruptly and as a cash grab and for their own personal selfish benefits. That's what people do. It's what everybody does. You know, and I say it all the time, but I think that would be a really shitty way to use that technology. I tell you guys, people are selfish. And people hate that I say that. I get so much crap. People are like, that's not true. It's absolutely true. Unless you're doing a completely selfless act, like if you are staying in the hospital with someone, but you're terrified of hospitals, but you're staying at the hospital because you want to keep your loved one company because they need it and you don't want to, that is a selfless act. If you are doing it in any way, shape, or form for any other reason that is not completely selfless, only specifically for the benefit of someone else, and you don't want to do it, it is selfish, because even if you do good, you're doing it because it makes you feel good. You like to help people because it makes you feel good, and it makes you feel like you're doing something right and you're helping people, right? So it's still selfish because you get some type, in some way, you get some self-satisfaction out of it. It's just the way it is. I mean, and that doesn't mean that selfish is always bad. Selfish can be a positive thing, but don't fool yourself into thinking that everything you do is for someone else. How many people send a reaction in because they want someone to like the music they sent? Or they want to promote an artist because they like the artist, because they want to be the one who brought the cool music to this live stream. How many people do that? Of course you want the person to like what you sent in. Of course you want the chat to be engaged and be like, oh my God, this is fire. This is awesome. I absolutely love this. Of course you do. It's selfish. Of course you want the person, you don't want the person on screen to shit on a song that you like, that you paid good money for. Of course you don't want that. You're doing it to support the content creator. Bullshit. Then if you did, you would just send a donation with no information, without your name and without a comment. You would literally just send it to them. Move on. It's my opinion. You know, everything I do is selfish. So don't even get me wrong. I'm here on this live stream for selfish reasons. I want to be entertained. I wanted to interact with the people on the channel. I wanted to get back into the routine of things. I. It's all I. People want to be a community of helpful people because it makes them feel good. It makes them feel useful. It makes them feel special. It makes them feel helpful. It makes them feel good. It makes them feel like, you know, they're putting out good vibes, and whatever the case may be. Unless it's a fuckery lie, but it's still selfish because you want to fuck with someone because it's going to be entertaining. Everything is selfish, and selfish is not in and of itself a bad thing. We've just applied that word in a negative connotation all of this time. Selfish is not necessarily bad. I mean, that's basically the bottom line. Selfishness is not necessarily bad. Selfishness is a word that describes the purpose. It's always, you know, self-driven, self-motivated. It doesn't mean that you are being negative to others to promote yourself. It just means that ultimately every act that we do is based on our own desires and wishes, period. Except for those, like I said, those selfless acts, like doing something specifically that you do not want to do, but doing it anyway to help someone with absolutely no reward. And I'm not talking about reward. Oh, they'll love me more. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, because that's selfish too. But I'm saying, like, you don't get it, like digging a hole for your grandma because you love her and she needs you to, and she's just going to like still yell at you and tell you that you're a horrible child, but you're going to do it anyway because it's your grandma. That's selfless, you know? Everything else is selfish. I get so much crap for that. People are like, not everything is selfish. Yes. I mean, if you can name something else that is not selfless, that is selfless, that is not how I just described it, I'd be happy to hear it. Because if you request something, you want somebody to do something. So therefore, it's selfish. You have a desire to see someone do something or receive something in return, whether it's a reaction, whether it's an emotional response, whatever the case may be. You want. It's selfish. But not necessarily in a bad way. It could be for funsies, you know? People like to really bastardize words. They like to take words and twist them. So the second that a word is used as an attack, all of a sudden it no longer means what it originally meant. That's not how that works. So because people accuse other people of being selfish to the extreme of the word, now they've taken away every aspect of the meaning. That's not how the English language works. People try to do that with all kinds of words. Irritates the shit out of me. Like, give us our words back. Use them properly. Of course, here I am throwing words around.